Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, this is your girl Sam. I know it has been a while. It has been like probably about 2 weeks since I haven't posted any video. I must say it has been a rough past 2.5 to 3 weeks. School was on strike for 3 weeks, and then we have winter storms. So guys, I literally missed about 4 weeks of classes. So I had to be putting in some extra work to stay on track, and the workload is quite a lot. And then this semester is not as good as last semester. This semester is like too much work, a lot of work. So, and I think it's only a lot of work because I missed so many classes and we're trying to get everything done at the same time. I also have a lot of group assignments that I know is probably not going to get done until closer to the end of the semester, when I am going to have to be preparing for final exams, which is not good. But you know what? I can do it. So today's video is basically about jobs. So I know quite a lot of persons who are coming to Nova Scotia is really concerned about finding jobs here, because I tend to get that question a lot, like people asking me, is it hard to find jobs or whatever. Like you have seen on most YouTube platforms or persons who are in Sydney, Nova Scotia, then you would have realized that the job market here is very competitive, because Sydney is small, it's not big, and then you have a lot of international students here. The population here is very aged, like it's mostly old people living here, but there are a lot of international students, and as such the job market is very competitive. So I'm gonna give you some tips how to search for jobs and what to do and what not to do when searching for jobs. So one of the things that I want to look at first is, where can you find jobs, where to search for jobs. So I use Indeed and I use Career Beacon. The thing with Indeed here, because Sydney is so small, when a job is posted on Indeed, when you look at how many persons that have viewed that post, that position, it's quite a lot of people. But yes, you can search by Indeed, Career Beacon, LinkedIn, and you can go on the Canadian Job Bank. When you go on the Canadian Job Bank, you just need to filter for Nova Scotia, Sydney, and see if there is anything that you're interested in. Or it's not even about interested in, it's a matter of survival. So you just want to know, you see something that you can apply for and you apply for it. Another thing is, don't rely too much on these job sites. You should also walk, like go in person to drop off your CVs, your resumes, like show up to the stores, drop them off. Don't just go on Indeed, because sometimes really and truly, yes, you might be lucky and find jobs from those sites, but sometimes you have to walk as well. Walk. You also have employment agencies here that can assist you in finding jobs. That's what I was gonna do if I didn't find a job on time. But I found a job in 2 weeks, well, 2 weeks and a few days after coming here. And truth be told, I did not walk to find a job. Like, I was using Indeed. I get a couple of calls from the jobs that I applied for on Indeed. However, the positions were like full-time, so I wasn't able to accept those jobs. When I was just sending out applications on those job sites, I didn't even read to see the description to see if it was part-time or full-time. I just see something that looks like I can apply for it, and I just click and apply. There's a lot of call center jobs here as well that you can get. However, again, most of the call centers want people for full-time, which is like 40 hours a week. And based on the shift, it will interfere with your classes, because at Cape Breton University. Classes are only held on Monday to Friday. So it's not like you can go to school on weekend and work during the week. So that's another challenge in terms of finding a job that will suit your schedule. Remember, I was saying in one of my previous videos that your availability plays a big part in finding a job. You know, even if you find a professional job, it's gonna be hard. So just know that the jobs that you'll be getting is low entry job. Like I was at work one of the day, was it about 2 weeks ago? And I was working and I looked in the mirror and I started laughing. I was like, oh my God, if you know what I mean. So you're starting from the bottom. But you know what? One day you're going to look back and you're going to remember that all of this is like, it's at a point where it is making sense. At first, it doesn't seem as though it makes sense. But trust me, when you look back, it is going to be the best decision that you have ever made. Like, yeah. So how I found my first job. I was just home one day and my landlord, hi Lisa, she said to me, Samantha, you need to go and get some CVs print. We're going on the road to drop off some resume. And I was like, oh, I don't have any CVs or whatever. And she brought me to the library and I get my resumes printed. And I drop off 4 resumes that day. That was the first day I've been on the road saying that I was going to look jobs. And I haven't walked any other time to drop off any resume. And like about a week after I submitted some of those resumes, one of those 4 that I submitted, I got a call for an interview. I did the interview, and the same day I was told that I was successful in getting the job. So which was like very good, because a lot of persons, when you watch these videos, some persons are here for months before finding a job, which is really ridiculous, right? So you want to be searching for a job as soon as you get here. What I will advise you not to do though is to like walk in batches of with your friends to look jobs. You need to walk by yourself. Even if you're walking with your friend, do not enter the stores with 2 3 people. You're looking at job, even if you're gonna let one person go in first and then you wait on the next person outside, vice versa. Employers does not like when 2 3 4 5 persons walk into a store, everybody submitting a resume looking for a job. They want to see you by yourself. Another thing that they are annoyed by is you dropping off a resume today and tomorrow you're showing up at the store saying that you're checking up on your application. Honestly speaking, guys, I don't see the sense of showing up at these places to be checking up on application, because if you submitted your resume and they're really interested in what they see on your CV, or if it is that they're hiring, then you don't need to check up. You will definitely get a call if they're interested in what they see. So they tend to get really annoyed by that, because I've witnessed it like so many times, persons showing up where I work saying that they're requesting that they want to speak to the manager, that saying that they want to check up on their application, and I would be told to tell them that if they need them, they will give them a call. They don't need to check up. So those are some little pointers that I am throwing out there for you guys. But you can find work, but you're gonna have to search hard. You cannot just come sit down, oh, I'm gonna apply for work on Indeed, because Indeed don't always work. Sydney is small, and I get to understand that Indeed work for cities, for provinces that are more populated, that are big. We're not saying that it's not gonna work here, but you need to also walk and use other search websites. Canadian Job Bank is a very good place to search as well. When you're searching, don't just search for in-person jobs. You can search for remote jobs, because if you're searching for remote jobs, then you can search outside of Nova Scotia. You can search in other provinces and stuff like that. A resume, there are quite an amount of resume templates, Canadian templates online that you can take. It's pretty much similar to the resume that I would have done back home in Jamaica. It's not much changes to it. It's pretty basically the same thing. It's not much changes. But you need to get your resume updated, make sure everything on it is current, and make sure you apply. If you're applying for a job and it asks you for A and Y, don't just apply with A. Make sure you have Y as well, because they basically outline these things that they're looking for. So if you're gonna apply without, like, some of the jobs that I was applying for, like, they were more professional jobs though. They were asking for you to apply with your transcript from school. No, if you're applying for a job and it specifically asks you for a transcript, why would you apply to that job without a transcript, if you get what I mean? So always look at the requirements and make sure everything that they ask you to apply with, you have them, because otherwise you'll be just wasting your time to apply. Now I'm going to tell you how I got my second job. Guys, I got a second job. Like, for the past 2 weeks I've been working. Like, week before last I worked like 78 hours in the 2 weeks. Like, this week I work 56 hours in just 1 week. So it's a lot of work. Work is out there. It's just for you to find that work. And I got that job through a friend who was already working at this place. And hi, Natalia. Yeah, she was already working at this place and they were hiring, and she told me about it. She told her manager about me. They asked her to bring my resume, which she did, and they scheduled me for an interview. When I did that interview, like, the very first question they asked me, the lady was like, oh my God, I don't need to ask you any other question from this document. And I was given the position. I was told on spot that I got the job. This job is paying me almost twice as the amount that I am earning at my first job. So it's pretty good. The only thing here though is that the tax system is rough. I pay so much taxes. When I got my first paycheck from this place and I saw how much taxes I was paying, I was like, is this for real? So they were very impressed with me in the interview. When you go on an interview, please give it your all. Like, make sure you do your best, because it is so hard to get jobs here. You don't want to miss out on any opportunity of you actually getting a job. So prepare for the interview. Like, this interview was 3 persons that interviewed me, and it was all situational questions, and it was a lot. But I love this new job. It's not, like, literally the job is so easygoing. It's not demanding or anything, and as such I really love this job. But I'm just telling you guys, just look out there. My friend got a job like about 6 days or 1 week after she arrived in Sydney, and she came in winter, in December, like the middle of December. So I am just saying this to say that yes, it is all over the internet, it is all over YouTube, that it is hard to get jobs in Sydney. But truth be told is that if you look and if you search vigorously, you will find jobs. Because, you know, a lot of persons are coming, and also a lot of persons are leaving. During summer, some person go back to their country. Some people go to other provinces to work during their break. So you will find something to do, especially if you come during summer. So don't worry too much about it. Just pray and just do it in faith, because you will eventually find something. But just make sure when you're coming here, you have money, can take care of yourself for a couple of months, just in case it takes you a while to find something. But who knows, you might be lucky like myself to find a job pretty soon. At one point in time, I was like, I wasn't even really looking for jobs when I just came. I was more relaxed, resting, because I stopped working like today and I travel like tomorrow. So I was super tired, like literally tired. So this is just some tips to tell you guys how to find jobs, where to search, what to do, what not to do. It's not a long video, but at least I hope you can find some information here that is relevant, that you can use, that you can implement when you're searching for jobs when you arrive in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Like, a lot of persons been asking me the question. I mentioned it in quite a few videos, but just this one to tell you what to do, what to expect. And you can get your resume printed at YMCA in Sydney, and it's 10 copies per day. That is free of cost, so you don't pay anything to print them. So for the week you can get like 50 copies of resume. Not that you're gonna need 50 copies, but just saying. So there are resources here. You guys gonna have to just, you know, research. You need to build your network when you get here. Like, knowing people, is it pays off, because you can accomplish so much by the help of people. So try to talk with people, try to socialize. You understand? They have a lot of events that is being held. The most of them is in Sydney. I live outside of Sydney. I live in Glace Bay, so I haven't attended any of them, because sometimes to be going back and forth on the bus, it's quite too much with working 2 jobs and school. But you have a lot of persons who are living in Sydney, so try and network with people as best as possible. You never might can tell, somebody might know somewhere hiring and say, hey, this person is hiring, you can go and check it out. So with that being said, I'm gonna say thank you all for watching my video. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you in my next video.